Welcome and welcome back. I'm Martin, and in today's video I would like to teach you how you can easily program string ostinati in the Pianoroll of your DAW, and then I will show you 5 steps how you can make them grow from something like this to something like this. And I'm pretty sure you know why. For that epic final battle, why? Today we will write in the key of D.
I like writing in D.
All you need to do in your DAW is just open up a new MIDI region. I will extend this to 4 bars, and for the beginning we will work with the free String Ostinati library, in this case from Heaviosity. It's their foundations staccato strings, and what this is, it's basically a string ensemble. So you do have the basses down here, then there come the celli, there are the violas, and up there are the violins. The Pianoroll of your DAW, normally the subdivision you can decide here. So if you put these to 4th, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 subdivisions in 1 bar. What we will need today is 16th notes, and then here more or less there are the violas, and we will start with them. If you don't know which notes to use, then it is pretty easy, because at the beginning just draw in all the notes from that scale, and then you know precisely which notes you can use for your ostinati. Today I will limit myself to a harmonic and a rhythmic ostinato, and I will just start drawing in now something for the violas. This one is wrong. So I can delete the notes here now, because by now we know what we want. And I just take this and I copy it. And in the second repetition I just change here something to have it a little more interesting. But don't worry, those notes are not set in stone. This is just one example. Play with those. And this is what we have so far. Sounds as boring, as unnatural as it can get. So here is step 1. Thinking about strings, you know, there is a bow going on the strings, up and down and up and down, and ha, 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 ha. Can't be the same sound. If you have a dedicated string library, then there might be up and down bow samples. If not, do it using velocity. I will do this now quickly. Just press the shift key and then select every second note that you have been drawing in before. And now lower the velocity of those notes. I will play it. Play with those values until you really like the result, but it's the very first step to have it more realistic, more epic, more cinematic. What we'll do now, we will just copy this whole thing again, so we will have a 4-bar loop at the end. I will extend this too. So now we go for the celli, and for the celli we will just take a rhythmic ostinato, and we will limit this to the root notes. So in this case I only copy the Ds that there are, and I bring them down 1 octave. As now not every 16th note is played, it's giving a pretty interesting rhythmic element to it. Now we come to the violins. So I will take this second bar here and just bring it up an octave. We will do it again. Here, take this, bring it up an octave. And do it again, another octave. This is not about programming the most realistic strings today. This is about getting an epic cinematic result, and there you can go big and beefy. And we do it even with the last bar. Select all of them, copy them. 1 octave up, again. 1 octave up, and again another octave app. This is what we have. Now we will vary it a little bit in harmonics, so we'll take the third one, bring it to a B flat, take this one and bring it to an A, just to have it a little more interesting. Here comes step number 2. To beef up the whole thing, add some synth bass to the strings. In this case, even here, I'm limiting myself to the free foundations synth bass from Heaviosity. You can download those libraries for free. The link is in the description. Sounds like this. What we have so far. All I'm doing now is using a dedicated string library. In this case, it's Noob from Heaviosity, and you can see there's a up and down bow bowing going on. So the library is choosing the right samples in a 16th rate. In this case, the violas sound like this. The violins sound like this. And here we do have the cello. Those are the very same notes that we had before. I just divided them into 3 different instruments. You can do this even with an ensemble library, doesn't matter. And now we come to step number 3. Overdo it with the panning. Those libraries are recorded perfectly, so the seating in the room is perfect. But we don't want to have this, I repeat, not as realistic as possible. We would like to have this as epic and cinematic and huge as possible. I will pan the violins slightly to the left and I will pan the cello slightly to the right. So I separate them a little bit in the stereo field, not by volume, but by the panning. And now listen to the result. Sounds already bigger, doesn't it? Now we come to step number 4. I will EQ. If you open up the EQ, you can see that normally and quite often all the strings, they have something going on between the 300 and the 400 hertz, and then it gets muddy in that range. It's not that defined anymore. This is not about perfect EQing. This is just a very quick step that you can use. So I will switch on the EQ on all 3 of them, where I'm just scooping out a little bit more in the 300, a little more in the 400, depending on it, and that's the result. We already had in step 2 the low pulses. In this case, I'm just going for low pulses from Gravity 2. They do sound like this. We come to step number 5, overdo it even with high pulses for the violins. So in this case, I'm using some high pulses, even in this case, from Gravity 2, and they sound like this. Together with the violins. So all that we do have by now together sounds like this. And this wouldn't be a tutorial about epic cinematic ostinati if we wouldn't add some percussion, in this case Damage 2, and a final Brahm from Symphonic Destruction, and the whole thing sounds like this. And here comes a bonus tip. Don't forget to leave enough headroom in your project as you work on it. Maybe you saw it. All my libraries are on -6 dB, so you have headroom for the mastering. And then just run it through Ozone or whatever mastering tools you have, and your sound will go from this to this. Thanks to Bernie, my good friend, for sending the visuals for this clip. And if this video was useful for you, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. 80% of you are not subscribed, so you won't miss the next tutorial, and it should show up here if you're interested how to create a cinematic texture just by using some plugins. And that's it from my side for today. See you in the next video or in the next live stream. Make good music always. Bye bye.